Thanks very much. So I was asked to speak at least openly about how I understand the trade security nexus. And I'm looking at it from this region and actually seeing how trade has been, I think, weaponized on the one side. And on the other hand, we've seen disruptions associated with trade that has affected security. And good examples is the 3/11, the March 11th earthquake and tsunami in Japan, but we've also had geopolitical events in the East China Sea with the arrest of Chinese fishermen causing rare earth embargoes, and most recently, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. So as we think about the nexus between trade and security, there is a strong political or geopolitical dimension that we've experienced, and Australians and South Koreans and Canadians and Japanese have all experienced the weaponization of trade affecting their security. But I think we should also put it in the context of a growing understanding that the interconnectedness of global supply chains and the production network that's largely based in China is extremely vulnerable to natural disasters and, of course, political choices. And again, in the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw how political choices and a transnational disease fundamentally disrupted not only regional supply chains, but global supply chains. Now, this is interesting in terms of how we understand it in terms of security, because at least in this part of the world, the idea of economic security has really grown in currency. Understanding that a country's security is not just about borders and numbers of ships and boats, but how resilient their economies are, how resilient it is to coercion, but also how well it can manage challenges to disruptions in supply chains. And with that, what we're seeing in this part of the world is a growing momentum to try and build resilience into the regional production network by, one, selectively diversifying away from the Chinese market. And I use that expression very explicitly, selectively diversifying, because it's not in the interest of any countries within the region to decouple from China. But there is a strong understanding that having too many eggs in the China basket could be a liability. And as a result, countries, whether it's Japan, South Korea, Australia, Southeast Asian countries, are thinking about how they can diversify their trading relationship with China, while at the same time engage with China and deepen that relationship. And I'll likely come back to this point about a non-zero-sum approach to China, where they're engaging, they're building resilience into the relationship, but also thinking about deterrence. The idea of economic security bridges technology, it bridges supply chains, and it bridges dual-use technologies. And here again, we're seeing resilience being built into the supply chains in those 3 or 4 areas to try and, again, create opportunities to continue to leverage the opportunity from the biggest economy in the region, an economy that, even though it's slowing, is going to continue to grow, has a large number of middle-class consumers that are interested in buying the products that are being produced within the region, but at the same time, understanding how these economic connections, again, can be weaponized or exploited to create different relationships within the region. So with that, I think, again, as we look at the trade security nexus within this region, I think we should step away from this zero-sum approach and thinking about decoupling to protect trade and security. And again, think about how countries within this region are engaging with China, finding ways to build resilience into the relationship with China, at the same time find ways to create deterrence in their trading relationship to ensure that they can benefit from the opportunities of this relationship, but also understand and create some protection from the weaponization of the relationship as well. Thank you.